Hi there, I'm Ant, and in this video we're going to be taking a quick look at how you manage your settings and presets on the Rodecaster Pro 2. So let's start with the mic presets. You can access these either by pressing on the relevant channel on the screen, or if the channel you want to adjust is assigned to a physical fader, you can click the button above the fader. After opening the channel settings, you can open the presets. These presets will cover the effects and processing settings for a channel. They're absolutely a decent starting point, but you can tweak the settings to sound exactly how you want and save your own custom preset. Let's have a look at broadcast. If we select it and then go back into the processing settings, we can see that depth, sparkle and punch settings are all pretty high. Now say we only want a tiny bit of sparkle. We can simply tap on that and turn it down. And saving it as our own custom preset is as simple as clicking presets, clicking plus, and giving it a name. We're going to call this one custom. And that's it. You can quickly switch between presets simply by tapping on it. So there's broadcast with a lot of sparkle, and custom with just a tiny bit of sparkle, just how we wanted it. Saving a preset will store the advanced processing options too. We're just keeping this simple as those options are a topic for another video. One nice feature is that after you save your preset, you can load it on the other channels, so you can have the exact same processing on multiple mics easily. And lastly, you can just delete the preset by clicking on the bin. Now let's talk about shows. Shows are not simply a way to organise your recordings, but they're a way to have multiple full configurations of the Rodecaster Pro 2 stored as presets that you can quickly load. You save them on a micro SD card, so if you're using a Rodecaster Pro 2 in a shared studio, for example, you can take your settings with you and save yourself a lot of setup time. So I've got the Tech with Ant show set up with things just as I like them. For example, I've got mic 1 on fader 1, I've got the USB channels, Bluetooth, sound effects, and then mic 2, 3 and 4 are on the virtual faders, as I've only got one mic connected and I'd rather have the physical faders for the things that I am using. Now let's say I need to do a two-person interview with someone. So I need a different mic setup and I don't want to mess up my current settings. I can tap on the show icon in the top left here and I can create a new show. Firstly, it's going to ask if I want to export my current show, and you'll want to do that if you want to keep your settings, as the new show will completely replace the current one. I'm going to skip that because I've already exported my show. I'm going to pick default as my starting point. You can also choose to follow the setup wizard or base the new show on the current settings. You probably just saw all the pads and the screen get a bit brighter, and some of the colours change around. And that's because it just loaded the defaults as I asked it to. I'm just going to name this interview. And I'm going to pick an icon for the show. And we're good to go. Back on the main screen, we can see that mics 1, 2, 3 and 4 are now in the first 4 faders because it's back to the default setup again. You can also see that mic 1 has stopped showing any sort of input level, and that's because I've got a condenser mic connected and the default settings have phantom power switched off. So we just turn that on and make any other settings that you want for the interview setup. Once that's done, we can go into the show and export it. So next time we have to do an interview, everything can be set up just as I want it by simply loading that show. Then to go back to my standard setup, it's simply a matter of importing the Tech with Ant show again. We do that by clicking on the show icon, and we click Import, and we select the most recent export for that show. Click Import Show, and I'm going to skip the export because I've already saved my interview show. And now my settings are back to normal. And that's how you can manage multiple saved configurations on the Rodecaster Pro 2. I hope this has been useful, and if you want to see more about the Rodecaster Pro 2, Subscribe below and I'll see you later.